Meet the 2017 Infiniti QX30. And recently I had a chance to chat with the guy responsible for the entire car, the chief engineer. And that interview and that everything you ever wanted to know video is coming up right now on TFL Now.
I'm a Deputy Chief Vehicle Engineer.
Wow, so you have a pretty big title. You're
Yeah.
the Chief Engineer.
Yes.
Ouch. So this is your baby.
Yes.
All right, so let's start at the front. Tell me about how this is different from the GLA, which it shares obviously a chassis and DNA and a drivetrain.
Well, so the first thing is when you look at it, you can tell it's a very beautiful vehicle. And we have the kind of Infiniti signature styling elements. So the double arched front grille, the front headlamp, and maybe one interesting thing to point out is we have some kind of high-tech feature in the emblem on this particular model where the forward collision system uses a radar that goes through the emblem. So you can see it looks like normal chrome, but the radar actually can pass through the chrome so that you don't see a big flat panel on the front of the car, which is pretty common on other vehicles.
So basically that is if the car stops in front of you and you don't.
This system will help you kind of enhance your driving performance to make sure the car does stop with you.
How does that work? How much time do you give the driver to actually hit the brake before you decide it's too late, we're going to hit the brake?
Well, the computer's checking your speed, the speed of the car in front of you, and the closing speed, and it will intervene before something happens. So it's not really the time amount depends on how fast the different vehicles are moving.
All right, let's open up the hood. Let's see what's under the hood.
Okay. Well, it's a 2-liter turbo engine with a 7-speed DCT transmission.
And that stands for dual clutch.
Dual clutch transmission, yes. And so this is a kind of common powertrain for the platform, but it's been finely tuned for Infiniti driving performance, considering both kind of throttle acceleration as well as the shifting of the transmission, specifically for Infiniti driving performance.
So that's obviously a Mercedes power plant that you've tuned for the kind of characteristics of the car here.
Yes, the engine itself is a base from Mercedes, but I kind of call it an alliance powertrain because we build a version of this powertrain in the Nissan plant in Tennessee.
Okay.
And this vehicle uses crosswise architecture, so the engine itself comes from Germany, but other vehicles that use a fore-aft architecture have the engine built in Tennessee by Nissan.
Now you may be wondering how much this QX30 cost. Well, that information unfortunately is embargoed until Sunday night, but we wanted to give you the scoop as early as possible. That's why we posted this TFL Now video today. But if you're interested in this car, I can tell you that it will be available early fall or about 2 months from now.
Well, so the interior is completely redone as an Infiniti with kind of asymmetric design. We have unique features of Infiniti, like the navigation system is specific to Infiniti, the kind of Infiniti InTouch system. We have a kind of typical Nissan or Infiniti transmission control, and the vehicle, we have a number of different trim grades with different stitching colors and interior colors, so that there's quite a selection available.
What's your favorite part of the interior of the car?
My favorite part of the interior?
What are you the proudest of?
Probably the seat comfort.
Yeah.
From an interior point of view.
Now Nissan says they've got zero gravity seats. Are they in here?
So it's the same research, and we've developed the seat to reduce or spread the load out across your back, and so you can reduce the fatigue 30% from our calculations with this kind of structure.
Well, I guess an engineering challenge for this vehicle must be that this is basically designed for Europeans in mind, right? It's a very European-centric kind of car. It's very tidy. It's very, small for American standards. How do you translate that to America? Was that something that you thought about when you were actually thinking about selling it here?
Yes, so we really did consider the global markets for this vehicle, and as a global vehicle, we sell it in 40 countries around the world, and you know, we considered how things people drive in America and have adjusted the shift pattern and the steering feel so that we are confident that Americans will think this is a good dynamic performance vehicle.
And how have you changed the steering from the Mercedes-Benz? That's one of the things you worked on.
Well, I'm not sure exactly how much we changed it from Mercedes-Benz, but we really worked to make the steering smooth, both in a parking lot situation and on a winding road and highway, so that, you know, it seems very natural and a very linear feel to the steering, even if you have the lower posture or higher posture vehicle.
How about throttle response? How is that different?
Throttle response, we've made it kind of more sporty, so you get a little bit more immediate response. And Infiniti is a little bit on the sporty side of luxury, if you will, if there's a, you know, plush side is the other side maybe. And so as Infiniti brand, we're a little more sporty, and so the throttle tip-in's a little quicker. The shifts are very smooth with the 7 DCT, so it's kind of the Infiniti driving experience.
Now, of course, this competes with cars like the BMW X1, the Audi Q3, of course the GLA, which we already mentioned. What makes this better?
Well, I think it's an all-around package. It's beautiful from the outside and inside. The driving performance is excellent, and you know, so all of this together as a package is what makes it really a great car.
And talk to me about the 3 different models that you're coming out with.
Well, we have a base model, QX30, and so if that's kind of the balanced vehicle.
Yep.
And from there, we built a sport version, which actually sits 15 millimeters lower, and it has a stiffer suspension. We have some rebound springs to help hold the tires on the road. And the Sport and the QX30 both have the same steering rack ratio. And the third model we have is QX30 all-wheel drive. It sits 30 millimeters higher than the base, and it has a different steering rack ratio to account for this difference in geometry, so that in the end, the steering feel is very similar. There's also increased stiffness on the rear suspension roll bar, so that it doesn't kind of roll as you're going through corners, so you have this very good dynamic performance in all the different conditions, and it's really depends what the customer's looking for, a little sportier flavor or a more SUV flavor. We have those within this model lineup.
All right, is there any question I forgot to ask you that I should have?
Well, just a couple other comments that on the exterior.
Let's go outside. Let's show me.
And so that's kind of this sculpted body side is also a characteristic of the Infiniti brand, and I think we really hit the essence with these kind of this body side shape and curvature. And you know, as we come around to the rear end, we also have the double arch license plate area, and you know, just a very sporty looking crossover.
Yeah, I mean this right here, right? This is very similar or reminiscent of the front grille on the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a normal design feature, and also the rear pillar has this crescent cut C-pillar here. We call it the crescent cut. That is a kind of character of all of our Infiniti models.
Yeah, very un-German-like, right? The Germans have a very different...
Yes,
yeah,
or
right
I think this is very unique to Infiniti.
Yeah, it is very unique. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with me. I really appreciate it.
Okay,
Thanks.
happy to be here.
Thank you. Okay. Infiniti has not yet released Mpg numbers, but they have told us that it will get at least 30 on the highway. Now, pricing information is embargoed, so if you want to learn about that, you're going to have to wait till Sunday at midnight, where over on our car YouTube channel, TFL Car, I'll have a full review of this car. So see you over there. And once again, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Ciao.